Man, I don't think I've ever been so tired in my life. 19,000 feet really takes the wind out your sails.
Kilimanjaro, oh hakuna matata, Kilimanjaro yetu, hakuna matata, oya nayo Arusha yetu, hakuna matata, oya nayo Manyara yetu, hakuna matata, oya nayo Yotanga yetu, hakuna matata, sema hakuna matata, hakuna matata, sema hakuna matata, hakuna matata, sema Kilimanjaro yetu, hakuna matata.
Landed in Nairobi, and then we went straight into it. Picked up Pastor Francis, the last Maasai, and we got to walk around with giraffes and zebras and wildebeests, and saw some hippos at Lake Naivasha. Then packed for Kilimanjaro. Hopped on a flight that night. Landed in Moshi. Man, that was the beginning of a real adventure. And the first day we were in the jungle, and it was hot, like we were sweating. We went from 5,000 feet to 10,000 feet just in a few hours that day, and we were all super strong and super ready to go, super anxious to get there. So that first day felt pretty easy for us. We still had 7 more days of it. The next day, we hiked a couple more 1,000 feet, rained, got our first day of rain, which at that point I think we all were kind of cool. We were like, oh, this is awesome. It wouldn't be a real hike up a mountain if there wasn't any rain. It's a long way down, a long way up. Ain't too bad a view. We're at 11,000 feet. Only got 8,000 more to go. That third day, that was the rough day. We got going, it started raining again. It didn't let up. For the next 7 hours it rained. And we got to the top of where we were going at 15,000 feet that day, and it started snowing on us and ice rain, and it was hard to stay positive because it was so cold. It's been raining for 2 days. Everybody's feet are cold, wet. Now it's snowing. We're trying to get back down to camp. Me and Nick and Mike and all of us, we were all trying to stay positive and keep the whole group going, keep everybody really positive, because we wanted our entire group of 10 to make it to the peak. Yeah. Can't wait to get these wet socks off. Everybody's soaking wet. Everything in our bags are soaking wet. Our sleeping bags are wet. Our sleeping mats are wet. Everything was wet. Oh my God. And then we all shivered ourselves to sleep. We're going up there. Climbed Barranca Wall, which was pretty amazing. The sun was out in the morning, and then it started raining again. Well, the sun was out a second ago. Boots are wet, underwear is wet, shirt's wet, socks are wet. So, try to get everything dry. Just like at the races. We hiked a few miles that day up to 15,000 feet up to base camp, and that was where we hunkered down and made our last preparations for the peak. One of the peaks of Kilimanjaro over here. We can't climb that one though. It's not allowed. So we're just gonna go that way into the cloud. Yeah. 11 p.m. and we're about to make the ascent to the peak. It was definitely tough. Once we hit 16, 17,000, you started feeling the effects big time of the altitude. I started getting really nauseous. I started getting massive headaches, losing my sense of balance. But there's nothing to get you ready for what that does to you, what that makes you feel. And we got a long way to go still. So much more mentally draining than what it was physically. It was tough, but we made it. We got to the top. Every step was to fight. And man, I don't think I've ever been so tired in my life. 19,000 feet really takes the wind out your sails. It was so surreal just looking down on the rest of the world and seeing the glaciers. Only it took 5 or 6 days, 14,000 feet, a lot of rain, some ice, but we made it. And my legs feel like I've never felt my legs like this. I feel like I tied cement blocks to them. But there it is. There's the sign for the peak. There's the crater. Glaciers. We got the crew. To be able to get up there safe and make it down safe was a huge step. Now I feel like I can do anything. I feel like I've been through a lot worse stuff than what I had before, and to be able to push through that and fight to get to the top is just a big deal. And you know, I thought that was going to be the hardest part of the trip, was going up to the top of that mountain, but you know, the next couple days proved to be a little bit worse than that, that's for sure. Spent some time going to some orphanages, visiting some underprivileged people. It's hard. We were able to give out some solar lights to some families that needed it, because you know, whenever the power goes out there, it's out for you don't know how long, and then some places don't have lights, so you need those kids need the stuff to do homework, to cook, to do anything really, and so we were able to hand some of that stuff out and help a little bit in that way, and then you know, just playing with some of the kids was really cool. We got to play soccer, you know, all the stuff that you see in the movies we got to do, and seeing that up close and personal, and walking through the streets, and that was by far the toughest thing to see, because you see these kids that are like 10 years old doing drugs, they're hungry. It's really hard. It's definitely made me rethink how I do things and how I live my life, and hopefully I can go back over there and try and help change some lives for some of those people if I can. You know, we always take it for granted whenever we're coming up. We always feel like we don't have, you know, because we don't have the nicest cars or the nicest houses or anything like that, we take it for granted, like, oh, we don't have that much. But after seeing that, we have so much, and you know, I'm never going to take it for granted. I'm going to fight harder than I've ever fought for racing, and train harder than I ever have, just so that I can keep living the life that I do, so that I can keep doing these things and go to all these amazing places and meet all these amazing people, and you know, hopefully be able to give back one day.